G'day everybody, Chris Farhi here from the Bayleys Insights Data team. We've got Ankur Dakwale to talk about the biggest news in New Zealand real estate. Last video for the year, a little bit of a Christmas special, so it's kind of exciting. And we're obviously at a pretty cool location today. I say pretty cool, it's actually stunning. Tell us a bit about it, Ankur.
Yeah, so we are lucky to be at 38 Porterfield Road in Whitford. Now, this is one of the best properties in Whitford on the market right now, called the Glencallie Estate. It has 6 bedrooms with 4 lounges, 4 bathrooms, a swimming pool, and 14 car parks as well. So it's set on 2.43 hectares of land, and it's a 30-minute drive to the CBD or Auckland Airport. So if you want to learn more about this property, please get in touch with Angela Rudling or Michael Chi from Bayleys in Howick.
Yeah, this is an amazing property. We had a snoop around, can confirm, super cool. So worth checking out if you're after something special for Christmas. So starting off with this video, we figured we'd do a quick reflection on the key stats from 2022. And so really the big one this year was inflation stats. So over the last 12 months, increasing from 4.9% per annum to 7.2% per annum. It's obviously a big boost on that consumer price inflation. Associated with this, we saw some big increases in interest rates. So the official cash rate increasing from 0.75% 12 months ago to 4.25%. And government bond yields up from 2.39% to 4.14% over the past 12 months. So I guess that's probably the big feature of this year has been the movements in inflation and interest rates. Housing market?
Yeah, so housing market, translating, following on from this economic change, you got the median house price for New Zealand that's reduced from $925,000 at the start of the year to $810,000 now. Median price from Auckland has also decreased from 1.3 million this time last year to just above 1 million at 1,065,000. Total house sales in New Zealand has also decreased from about 89 billion for the 12 months to 21 to 64 billion to the 12 months to November 2022.
So obviously 2021 was a real hot year, 2022 has been a bit calmer. One of the interesting things looking back on it was that some of those indicators, particularly inflation and long-term government bond rates, were already on the up during 2021. So sort of no surprises coming into 2022 really. And so on top of those stats, obviously some interesting news over the course of 2022. Kicking off at basically this time last year, triple CFA was introduced to the lending market. The other thing that happened earlier this year was obviously the COVID lockdown stopped.
We also had the government release national statements for urban development and highly productive land. Tier 1 and Tier 2 councils notified plan changes for housing intensification. Something else that also interesting happened is Chris's hair grew back.
Yeah, that was pretty funny, although hidden by the hat today. And so the last 12 months, we've also filmed these videos at some pretty cool locations. Just touch on some of them. We've had apartments, we've had houses, we've had farms. Obviously an amazing lifestyle block today. We did a car park, Christchurch, New York. Ankur, what was your favourite this year?
Yeah, my favourite was Christchurch. It was a beautiful property that we filmed at and we spent the day in Christchurch. It was great to see the development that's happened there over the last decade.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. My favourite, obviously New York, just for getting over there was fun. But then the property that we're at today, pretty amazing. So yeah, definitely something special here today as well.
Now, moving into some regular programming, we got the New Zealand news. So we have REINZ that released their housing statistics for November 2022. So the house price for New Zealand is $810,000. What's interesting is 3 months ago, this was $800,000. So we've actually increased it by $10,000 for New Zealand. For Auckland, the November median house price is $1,065,000. 3 months ago, this was $1.1 million. And on median days to sell for New Zealand, it's 41 days at the moment. 3 months ago, it was 49 days. So, you're about 8 days short on the market now than you were 3 months ago.
And so those stats are interesting, right? They show a level of stability entering the housing market and all the impact of the spring selling season. One of the things that's also interesting is lately we've seen a bunch of clickbait headlines around people trying to outdo themselves on the doomsday predictions for the housing market. But those stats don't really show that. They show a level of stability over the last couple of months anyway.
We've also recently seen some examples of commentators trying to outdo each other by using inflation-adjusted figures. That makes their predictions sound a bit more worse than what it is in real terms.
Yeah, so pretty tricky with some of those headlines lately. Next up, we've got the Commerce Commission. So they released the findings from their market study into the residential building supply sector. Now, this highlighted 2 key issues within the sector. The first was that they have found the regulatory system is too slow, costly and uncertain around introducing new products into the market. which then makes it hard to encourage competition. The second thing that they found was that there are industry rebate structures in place which encourage quantity buying, so that tends to favour the incumbent suppliers as well. Now, in terms of the government's response, they're expecting to make some announcements in March 2023, so I guess we'll have to wait until well after Christmas to see what they're going to do.
Next up, we have the government who made some announcement about emergency housing. So this was the Emergency Housing Review, which introduced quality standards for emergency housing and the expansion of support services as well. Now with that, we had a housing accord that's been signed for Rotorua between the government, the local council, and the local iwi. Now this is to reduce reliance on emergency housing in motels specifically, and it also is looking to increase the pipeline of public, affordable iwi and Maori housing. It also aims to achieve near zero use of motels ASAP.
Next up, heading offshore, we've got our global partner Knight Frank, who released their latest Abu Dhabi residential market review. Now within this, it found that residential values in that market grew by about 2.1% over the Q3 2022. They found that villas are generally outperforming other types of housing in terms of price performance, which is interesting. They found that local buyers are generally demanding larger homes, and that some of the things that are commonly being sought at the moment are home offices, home gyms, and more outdoor space. So kind of interesting. I assume that sort of fits into some of the post-pandemic lifestyle changes, but good to see some activity in that market.
Knight Frank have also launched their Mumbai residential property update. Now this shows a growth in number of sales registrations, which are up 18% year on year. There's been some moderation due to higher mortgage rates and an increase in the stamp duty. But they also noticed that 83% of the apartments sold were below 25 million Indian rupee. And the western and the central suburbs of Mumbai are popular, with 88% of the total market transacting in these in November 2022.
Now, Ankur, you've actually been to Mumbai, right?
Yeah.
Well, what's your favourite thing about the city?
Yeah, so my favorite thing has to be the street food of Mumbai. You cannot beat it anywhere else, and it is one of the things that you have to try when you go there.
Yeah, awesome. We'll have to add that to the agenda for the next couple of years. And then finally, we've got our property of the week. I'll kick off this week. I've got 672 Aubrey Road in Wanaka. So this is a triple pavilion home, approximately 435 square meters, 6 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, 3 lounges, 3-car garage, high ceilings, timber floors, set on about 4,000 square meters of land. It's located a short drive from Wanaka town centre. And if you want to learn more about this, you can contact Sharon Donnelly or Scott McGowan from the Bayleys Wanaka team.
And my property of the week this week has to be this property that we're filming at today. It is 38 Porterfield Road in Whitford, Auckland. It is one of the best properties in the market right now in Whitford. It is called the Glencallie Estate, and it's situated on 2.43 hectares of land, 6 bedrooms, 4 lounges, 4 bathrooms, a swimming pool, and 14 car parks. So if you want to learn more about this property, please get in touch with Angela Rodling or Michael Chi from Bayleys in Howick.
Yeah, this is a beautiful property. It'd make a great Christmas present for someone special. So with that said, big thanks to the vendor for this property, Angela Rodling, Michael Chur from Bayleys Howick, for getting us out here and allowing us to film here. It's been absolutely great. Thanks very much, Ankur.
Thanks, Chris.
And we'll see you next year. See ya, bye.